Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Welcome to the Philadelphia fan world. Oh, God. We have been here too many times on the precipice of death. We're back. A familiar perch. Might as well be the top of the Ben Franklin Bridge as we dangle. This is the Anthony Gargano Show. Brought to you by Rite Aid. I need Rite Aid bad today. All your meds, your scripts, your flu shots, and all your favorite goods, Rite Aid, RiteAid.com. Listen, we've been here before, man. We are veterans. Even the children of the Delaware Valley are veterans of this high wire act that we're back and dealing with after another power outage yesterday up at Citi Field. Listen, it was a brutal game. I feel you. I feel you on everything. The lineup after Castellanos, the lineup has just been dead, mort, dead, nothing, lifeless, unable to do anything. And, you know, I hate to tell you that's baseball, but it's baseball. Sean Manaea, we were talking about him, and he pitched a gem yesterday. I don't, listen, the slot is real. I know you don't want to hear it, and nobody here wants to hear it. That arm slot is real. It's hard to pick up. And I know people are coming at Harper. And I got to be honest with you. I can't come at Harper. I know that there's, 2 on. It's about the rally. And, you're expecting it. That Manaea is where he's throwing is really tough on left-handers. It really is tough on them. And it's not an alibi. It just is the truth. He was sitting, he was amped up in the moment, and that pitch, which is a changeup, was a great selection because it's going to look like a fastball, and Bryce is looking to jump on something, and it's easy to go, hey, you got to know he's not going to throw a fastball. You got to be sitting off speed, change up, but it's going to come out like a fastball. It's going to feel like a fastball for you. And in that moment where you got adrenaline spilling out of you, it's hard to slow the bat head down. I know you don't want to hear it. And I listen, I feel the same way. It was a gut-wrenching game. This whole series has been a just miserable in the sense that it's gut-wrenching, right? Even game 2, they win. It was in a torturous manner. It's been a difficult 3 games. And it's not going to get easier tonight because, first you got Ranger on the mound, and we know that Ranger has not been good. He's been hittable. Now, I don't know. Does he gear it up? It's the playoffs. Does he get a couple ticks back on his fastball? If that happens, he's a different pitcher. When he's off, 2 or 3 ticks is when he becomes really hittable. If he can gear it back up, he could become the old Ranger. And, Jose Quintana is 1,000 years old. He's a soft-tossing lefty. I know that the Phillies usually don't do well against soft-tossing lefties, but I got to believe that tonight's the night. Call me a sucker, but I got to believe that tonight's the night. I think there's going to be runs scored. I think they're going to get to Quintana. I know Quintana was really good against Milwaukee. Usually you see a regression. So think about it this way, right? Last night the Padres start Michael King. And Michael King was outrageous against the Braves in the wild card game. Struck out 13. He was just dealing. And last night the Dodgers got to him. There's usually a regression from one start to the next when it's that good. Quintana was that good against Milwaukee. I'm smelling a regression. I'm smelling that the Phillies hit. Now, that bottom of the lineup right now is just absolutely killing you. Bohm, I mean, can you take a pitch? I know he got a hit in the last at bat, but he's been killing you. JT's been brutal. Like, I felt last night against Minaya that maybe he would do something. The right-handers killed you. I mean, say what you want about Bryce in that spot or Schwarber. I mean, Castellanos slides into the double play. I'm going to take him off the hook. But Turner, again, coming up small. JT, Bohm, Hayes didn't do anything. He got a chance, and he's usually good against left-handed pitching. He gave you nothing. You can't expect Rojas to carry you. Sosa got a knock. That was it. You're going to have to generate something. They're going to have to go in, and this is where you dig deep as a ball club, right? This is where you have to grind out. My fear with them is that they entered the playoffs thinking that they had to win the World Series. And it feels like they tried to win the World Series in one series against the Mets. Like, because if they don't do anything early in the game, they really start to grip the bat tight, man. They look really tight. Think about this for a second. To start the game, they put that first inning, they hit the ball hard. And then when they got nothing, second inning, third inning, right? Struggle. Then they start gripping the bat. And it's not until the game is really one-sided where the Mets kind of put you out of reach when they start to hit. Like, they start to hit when the game was over. They're going to have to find who they are. And they're going to have to dig deep because this is it. Losing in the division series to the Mets in this fashion is excruciating. And you'll have to remake this team. At least, you'll have to, you're not going to move from the core because you got a lot of money tied up in the core. But if they go down, you're going to have to change the face of it, like the facade. You're going to have to change, who you are. That may include, I know we always talk about Schwarber hitting leadoff and, the spirit animal, but, truthfully, they're out of whack. They're out of balance of power. I mean, the one thing I just never really liked, and I got it, right? I'm not even saying it now, but if we're going to talk about the future, I never really liked Schwarber from a baseball standpoint when it comes to the playoffs, hitting leadoff. And look, it was great to have the Shore bomb the other night, but your lineup is out of whack. It's just, you need balance. And that's where I think, you push Castellanos down, you get a little power throughout the lineup. Look, none of that's going to happen tonight. Tonight's all about Ranger, and it's about survival. And I don't want to be doom and gloom, right? They got a shot, right? They still got a chance. You win tonight, you're coming home with Wheeler on the mound. So you got to win one game. If they win tonight, then they're going to be a big favorite on Friday with Wheeler on the mound. All right, let's talk to our people who suddenly are not wearing Phillies gear.
Oh, we still got something, guys.
JP, John Zapata. Yeah, but you're wearing a Glenn Mills. What is that?
So, good friend of mine, shouts to the Hansberries, used to work at the Glenn Mills Juvenile Hall. So I got some.
It's a nice thing, but you're all filling up. You got nothing. My man over here.
I mean, he really.
He's got the Vols hat, the Sixers hoodie. We
10, 9, 8, 7,
no, I don't want to hear it. Frazier, our fine producer, is wearing an Ocean City sweatshirt. All right, and a Liverpool baseball cap.
I wish I was at I wish I was at the beach.
I would love to be at the beach right now.
Me, the former reporter who always keeps it down the middle most of the time. All right, I'm the one. I'm like, I gotta wear it. I got to represent today. I felt the need to wear the Phillies hoodie because I wore this in 2022 when I was at the game. Bryce hit the home run. I was behind home plate, hit the home run through the raindrops. I thought maybe this would be good luck today.
Strong hoodie, but we need your guidance because, like, how do you constantly do this? Like, I feel like these teams constantly are just punching me in the gut. And at this point, like, my motto is, like, always move on to the next team. But I look at the next team. I don't want to go into football season. This Eagles team is driving me up the wall, too.
Listen, this is what we do. This is your lot in life. This is not anything other than huge. If actually it chose you.
It did.
By living in the soil, this was our lot in life. Where our lot in life is to be Philadelphia people. And we're Philadelphia people, Philadelphia sports fans, 4 for 4, and you just got to deal with it. You got to muster up whatever you got inside.
There's like birthrights. This is a birth curse.
Yes.
It's a burden. It's a real burden some days. This is one of those days.
My man, Danny, violation on you guys for not wearing any Philly stuff.
I've been wearing Philly stuff and they've been stinking. I got to mix it up a little bit. Come on. I mean, I've been Mr. Philly. I've been the Philly fanatic without the costume on, and it ain't working.
I still got to.
You might as well put a Grimace outfit on, like those freaks.
Dude, I mean, it's so weird. Like the amount of Grimace stuff you see in City Field, man.
The best. My buddy Tooch goes, you got to be a real J.O. to wear a Grimace costume to a game.
Yeah, imagine you're with those people. Like you want to sit next to a person in a Grimace costume?
I mean,
you walk in the ballpark and your buddy's in a Grimace costume?
I know. Come on. I never got like dressing up for games, but hey, it's all fun, I guess. I don't know. Look, this is what we do.
I'm gutted. Like, I could not get out of bed. I just wanted to stay in the fetal position all day.
Yeah, literally.
Well, listen, you can't be gutted today. All right? You got another game. You got to listen, you win today, you got Wheeler. You get to come home to Wheeler. Come on. You can't give up if they lose tonight, then tomorrow we'll do a funeral. All right?
Is it better to get it over with tonight or to get the hype of Wheeler and then Wheeler pitches 8 and they
don't hit?
They don't
like
hit.
They did in game 1?
Like, what's better off?
Take me behind the barn. End my misery.
Listen. It's never good to lose before you exhaust every possibility. All right? Now, I will not disagree that it's certainly Philadelphian that they would win tonight and lose with Wheeler on the mound at home.
Everyone in the chat's saying that exact thing.
That's a Philadelphia story.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the same team that is one win away from the World Series and lose to those freaking Diamondbacks who stink, right? And you lose at home. 2 games.
It's the same story.
Same story.
We see it, man. Like, and it doesn't matter who's pitching. Sandy Koufax could be pitching. They're putting up 2 runs a game.
Dude, but that's what's messing me up. We made Sean Manaea look like Randy Johnson yesterday. And I get what you're saying, cuz I get it, the baseball of it all. But we made Sean Manaea look like Randy Johnson yesterday. That drives me up the wall. That's what's really got me messed up today.
Here's the problem, is that he's legitimate. When you listen, that's real. I'm not saying it's an excuse for the Phillies because I still think that they were gripping the bat tight.
Oh, for sure.
Like, they were really tight.
They look tense, man.
And what happens is, God forbid they go 2 or 3 innings.
Yeah.
They just get tighter and tighter and tighter.
And the pitching gets tighter because they're like, oh, here we go. We got no bats, no run support. Pitching gets tighter. And I think you're right. That first inning, they had good contact, but then they're just like, damn, snake bitten. Like, just not going our way. That's the vibe, it feels like.
Yeah, because if you looked at it, they started to hit again when the game was out of reach. Yeah. Because there was no pressure.
Right.
So they all started to hit. And, you could see it. You could feel, they feel like a tense team. The one issue from this whole season is there's the mentality that they got to win a ring. now, obviously, you got to win a ring, right? But you can't play like that. You got to be loose. Like, what was the difference in 2022?
Oh, yeah.
You were loose.
They were having fun out there.
Right?
They're not having fun.
They were playing house money.
Yeah.
They were loose. What happened last year? They were loose again, beat the Braves, same way, right? And then, you go on. But when did they start to get tight? When they knew they had to win to get back to the World Series. And it was game 6 and 7. They started to get tight again.
Yeah, they did.
Right?
Yeah.
And then this year, you get off to this incredible, you got to get off to a good start. You got to get off to a good start, right? Like everybody goes, you can't have a bad start. They get off to an incredible start, so much so that they're on a ridiculous 100-win pace, 100-plus win pace, then dip. And then there's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. They start playing better, but there's still this feeling of, all right, well, we got to win a ring. Like Bryce has to win. Think about it. Harper, this whole thing of getting Harper a win, right? Like a ring. Harper leaves Washington. They win it when he leaves, right?
Yep.
This dude is obsessed with winning a ring. And he does whatever he can. I really don't want to hear that he didn't come through in that spot. I'm sorry. It's completely understandable. It just is. Because he's expecting, like, when you see that pitch,
I get the first pitch.
It looks like a fast, it's a changeup. That's what it's designed for.
Yeah.
Comes out at the same time.
But those two sweepers afterwards, like that first pitch, I get it. I just read this morning. Minaya had not thrown. He threw one changeup to a left-handed batter since the All-Star break. So he's going to surprise Bryce there and get him. But the two sweepers after that, especially the third strike, was just
wow, that's your off balance. You're flailing.
I don't expect that from my superstar, though. I'm sorry, man.
Dude,
that was like 2 feet off the plate.
Dude, listen. Again, you're off balance. You're off kilter. You're down 0-2 in the count. I mean, that's what baseball is, man. It's hard to hit a baseball.
A bigger concern is one thing we talk about throughout the season, those role players. Role players are big in the playoffs. Because, I mean, you look at JT
right.
Realmuto, Alec Bowen, Brandon Marsh, Austin Hayes, they are 1 for 32 in these postseasons. Like, you have the Mets guys who are stepping up in the later part of it.
Got a big head.
Like, you need these guys to do something. It can't just be Bryce and Nick Castellanos every game.
No, listen,
and that's the big problem.
You're right. I mean, look, Bohm disaster. JT.
Bohm is seriously disaster.
I'm shocked at how inept and feeble that JT looks at the plate.
Dude, seriously.
Realmuto is killing him.
He looks old.
He does.
Old.
0 for
He's
9
killing him.
in the series right so far.
Hayes, the guy in
Dombrowski crapped the bed at this trade deadline. He deserves. They needed a bat. We knew they needed an alpha bat, and he got us Austin Hayes. And Austin Hayes stinks.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just not.
He hit
he's not
lefties in
made for
Baltimore.
this.
You saw it. He hit lefties in Baltimore. But I mean,
everyone's saying
you wanted to protect the prospects, and not try to get away with it. I understand where he's coming from. I don't know the whole backstory of Lewis Robert and what it was going to take to get him.
I take Brent Rooker and
I was gonna say.
crap defense right now in the outfield with that bat. I mean, the outfield defense isn't the problem. It's they just have no offense.
None. Well, the bottom line, and this is also worth talking about, right? Like, because we have had this push-pull. And I go back and forth on it, right? Because I understand what batting leadoff means to Schwarber and to the club. Mm-hmm. Like, I get that. But it does, when you need runs, it throws you off balance.
Yeah.
I'm looking. Does anyone else have as many platoon players as the Phillies? Like, I'm looking through the Padres and Dodgers lineup. It feels like their lineup's set. They don't have these. We have like 3 positions every game that's a platoon position.
Well, 2. I mean, the outfield. They're weak in the outfield. I mean, that's where they're at.
And we're at platoon in second base, and we platoon the outfield.
I mean, the only time second base gets platoon. I mean, the lefty thing is a little more pronounced because of that with Stott. But I mean, truthfully, he's your second. But the Padres have Peralta plays against righties because he's left-handed. So they have a left-right. They have a platoon spot too. And even the Dodgers, will have the right-handed lineup with Hernandez when there's a lefty on. Kiki plays, Taylor plays.
I don't know. It just feels really pronounced here, maybe because we're living through it.
You're at the platoon third base
you're
too.
living through it.
You're at the platoon third base too. The way Alec Bohm's been playing.
Well, I mean, you're not expecting that. I mean, you're not expecting Bohm to just, go bye-bye. The shame is, too, he put a good swing on the ball.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
try to get some extra.
Again, it was a great play in the outfield because you get the ball in. But, he put a good swing on the ball early.
But then what did he do in the dugout after that? After it gets dug out.
I know.
Same thing you talked to Moss about. We're talking about with the professional baseball player.
No, but that's this game.
I know.
I think, ultimately, their biggest problem at the plate is we need to win the World Series in the division series.
Super tight right now, man.
Well, is that on Topper to relax his team?
I mean, dude, I don't know how you do that. I mean, I don't know how you make.
It doesn't help with the owner being like, "Give me my effing trophy back."
But I do think there's a mentality from inside that clubhouse. And again, Bryce is the guy that's pressing for the ring. You and I were talking about this yesterday in a little bit because you said they needed Pete Rose, right? Because from 70, the whole story, 76, 77, 78, right? Phillies need that guy, and Pete comes in. We said Bryce is that guy, and he is. But he's also the guy that needs the ring, right? You almost need a guy to come in that's won it.
Right, like Moses had it. Yeah.
You almost need that. I mean, they're missing because they get too tight, man.
They are tight.
They get tight.
They should be better than that.
And I thought after game 2 they were loose because they seemed loose the way that game ended.
Like the Dodgers.
Well, you seem loose because they won.
Well, I mean,
you're loose when you
win. Yeah.
But all of a sudden you come back and look what happens, right?
Showman Eye
We've
looks
become
good.
the Braves.
Oh, wow, dude.
Last year, that's what I feel like.
Well, I mean, now that's a whole other story because if you look at the data of the division series versus the wild card, where these wild card teams, because they're playing, they go on and win.
Mets were hot even before the wild card round.
Well, but the Braves the last 2 years, they were the Phillies. I mean, they were talking about last night on the studio show with Kevin Burkhardt and A-Rod and Jeter and Poppy about, the way it's set up, these wild card teams, because of the rhythm of baseball, have success. And the data shows it over the last 3 years. All right, we got lots to get to.
I hate data. I hate data.
I know, buddy. I know. It's a tough morning. And I'm with it. But you can't. They're not. It's not over. All right, not over. You guys gotta buck up. Buck up.
He just needs his gummies tonight.
It feels like as bad as if you had a 10-1 football team that would just go off the rails.
Okay, I know. I know.
Dude.
We going
man,
through
you
hell.
gotta go there.
Really?
Oh,
It's
man.
like, come on.
All right.
How much can we take?
All right. Hey, I want to tell you about my old friend, your own Golden Nugget Jewelers. That's right, Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. Now, we're entering something called ring season. You're like, what's that? I go, that's perfect, all right? Because ring season, there's perfect moments to get engaged. So you got Halloween. That's a good one. Something tells me the VG got engaged around Halloween. Knowing that he's
I got
a big
engaged around
occult guy.
Thanksgiving.
The Thanksgiving. Okay, well, that's another one.
Fall, in
right?
the autumn, fall.
But that's another one, right? You got Halloween, you got a little foliage season. That's romantic. You take a drive. Thanksgiving, because you got all the family there. Christmas, right? The holidays, New Year's, all those moments are engagement moments all through Valentine's Day. It's like a football season, right? It goes from throughout the fall to Valentine's Day is when it's engagement season. So if you met that beautiful girl and you're looking like, this is it, man, I'm done. I'm ready to go all in. go see your own. It's my man, Golden Nugget Jewelers. He's going to take great care of you right there on 8th and Chestnut, all right, right in the heart of Jewelers Row. All right, they got an incredible selection of rings, wedding bands to fit anyone's budget. All right, you'll get a cleaning and written appraisal with every engagement ring purchase. This is unbelievable stuff. And again, they have stuff, watches, diamond necklaces, bracelets, earrings, more, everything that you need. Golden Nugget Jewelers. You get the best price, the best experts. Go to goldennuggetjewelers.com. It's where Philly gets engaged.
So if your hair's gone bad on you, if you're pulling your hair out, pay attention.
I'm there.
Glatt Hair Restoration by Morgenstern Medical. They're the people for you. Established by the late Dr. Paul Glatt, now part of the Morgenstern Center under the direction of the renowned plastic surgeon, Dr. Ken Morgenstern. He's a nationally recognized specialist and among the few surgeons in the country trained in oculofacial plastic surgery. Dr. Glatt and Morgenstern, they were friends, colleagues. They worked on a bunch of critical research studies. They worked together in the operating room. So it's all pretty much the same flawless process. What makes Glatt Hair Restoration by Morgenstern Medical better? Well, it's the same peerless approach to care, same expert team, and the same unmatched Glatt system. Each member of this team is trained to bring 30-plus years of industry experience, and hair restoration is all they do. They don't mess around with anything else. And there's other people out there say they have good equipment and they do hair restoration, but only Glatt Hair offers decades of proven results using innovative and techniques and, results delivered by leaders of the industry. Glatt Hair can help during all stages of hair loss with leading-edge treatments, laser light therapy, non-invasive TE treatments, and each patient receives a complimentary one-on-one consultation to pinpoint your best course of treatment. A caring patient advocate works with you from the first phone call to the last follow-up. Glatt Hair isn't just about restoration, it's about innovation. Their breakthrough treatments really do dramatically change lives. You can change your hair, and that'll change your life. Bald is now optional. If you want to improve how you look and how you feel about yourself, Glatt Hair has the right treatment for you. Regain your confidence and visit glatthairmctr.com or call 610-980-4000 to get started.
All right, here you go, BG. All right, time now. As this portion of the program brought to you by the BetParks Online Sportsbook and Casino. The ambassador for BetParks, Brink.
Red, the brain finder.
Were you at the airport?
I'm at the airport. Yeah, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, not good. You're headed to Vegas?
Heading, first to Arizona and then to Vegas. And I got to say something, I really do. All right. It's funny, I love my dad, and he's great, but he calls me, and I think it's just the mentality of most fans, which again is someone who comes at it from a little bit of a different perspective from a math point of view. He's like, oh my God, I guess the Mets are just much better. I have to give them credit. They're just a far better team. And I'm like, no, they won a game. One game, the Oakland A's. Remember the Oakland A's on the Sunday, Anthony beat the Phillies 17-1. I mean, they beat. I mean, it's just one. Unfortunately, everything gets exacerbated in the postseason times a million, and that becomes the biblical 11th commandment. The Mets are better than the Phillies because they won, in a playoff game. But that doesn't mean they're better. That's just the randomness of the sport, which we've been talking about, Anthony, since this entire Phillies season. It's either you get it done in the playoffs or you don't. But it's just there's no way to. It's not to me in basketball the best team wins almost always, right? In baseball, it's the way that it is, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating, but
we were just talking about this, Brad, where, if you look at the data from the wild card teams, since they expanded to a best of three, those wild card teams they advanced. The Phillies advanced, right?
Exactly.
You see it. Look at it. The Kansas City's live. The Tigers are live. The Padres are going to beat the Dodgers.
Anthony, that's exactly right. And listen, I'm not saying it's not frustrating as a Phillies fan, but out of all the sports, Anthony, again, and hockey, I guess, with the hockey goalie can really carry a team, but it's in football, when, if the team loses in the playoffs, it should have won. Even though it's a best of one, I have no problem with ripping them, going after them, doing whatever you want to do. Basketball, same thing. But with baseball, it's almost I think it's almost irrelevant who the best team is. Once the playoffs start, I almost feel it's like, you know how many the Daytona 500 they have those restrictor plate racing to make everyone like basically even.
Yeah.
That's what the baseball playoffs are. Everyone's like even.
Yes.
It's like restrictor plate racing. You can't just pull ahead of teams. It's just the way that it is. It may be hard for people to embrace, and it may upset you.
Well, right, because
it was,
our initial reaction is like, we got to blame somebody, right? And
Yeah,
nobody
that's
wants to hear
exactly
that.
right,
That's why I'm not coming on going, that's baseball, it's baseball. But there is an inequity when you play 162 games. There's a reason why in the past you went right to the League Championship Series.
Exactly.
Because it weeded out all those other teams. You either got to pick one, right? Pick one lane. Either you play 100 games and do an expanded playoff, right? Or you go 162 and you do the division winners LCS World Series.
Anthony, listen, when me and you grew up, that's what it was. So we used to play the Dodgers all the time in the playoffs on there, and there was 4 teams that made the playoffs, and it was, that's at least, you knew that was it. It was so hard to get in, and the best 4 teams were there. Now when you're inviting 12 out of 30 teams to come in the playoffs, Anthony, think about it. It just invites this kind of, but again, I think most people like it and enjoy it, and it's helped probably TV ratings, probably helped attendance because teams are in the playoffs. But it does
render the regular season meaningless, right?
Exactly.
Like, so the Phillies and the Dodgers, who have the 2 best best records in baseball, are facing elimination. And by the way, the third best record, the Brewers, they're already out.
Anthony, listen, that's 100% right. Now, listen, as I said, talking about yesterday's game, to me, it was like one of those things where I thought Nola probably goes 52 and 48. The Phillies got one of those 48. I mean, it happens. Now, I'll give Manaea credit. I give him credit. He pitched a good game. And then when it was first and second, nobody out, and Bryce is up, it's like, okay, this is it. You have the number 1 hitter you want up in the entire team, and he threw good pitches. I gotta tip my cap to the guy. He pitched a really good game. And then it's funny, the next Castellanos hit not like a hard shot, but if he hit the ball like 2 feet to his left or right, a run scored and it's first and third 2-1, right? It's just it's just the way baseball is. He had like a humpback line drive that they just shaded him perfectly, right? And they doubled him off second base. But again, listen, now, Anthony, and you talked about it, Anthony, I give you credit. You said from the longest time, you go, the X factor for the Phillies season is Ranger Suarez. You probably said it too many times to count. Well, tonight you'll be proven correct one way or the other because he really is. This is in an elimination game. They need him to be the Ranger Suarez of the first 3 months, not the last 3 months. And that's what it's going to come down to.
I know. And I do sense a regression from Quintana. Quintana was very good against Milwaukee. He pitched really well. But it's like, from start to start, sometimes when a guy's really, really has a great start, like Michael King was unbelievable, right, against the Braves. And then last night against the Dodgers, he got banged around. And he's got great stuff. Quintana is one of those dudes. He mystified Milwaukee, pitched great. I see the Phillies hitting him tonight.
Anthony, listen, I couldn't agree with you more. Someone who follows this stuff way more than the average Bear should. I can tell you, my respect level for Manaea was 10x what it is Quintana. Quintana to me is a guy that Phillies really should be able to score. Remember I talked to Manaea, it's going to be hard to get many runs off him. Quintana, I'll be disappointed. Very disappointed if they can't get at least 3. At least 3. And again, he's probably not going to be in there that long. Or if they get 3s, they're just probably going to take him out maybe. But I'll be disappointed if they don't get to him here. I really will. And I'll tell you this, Anthony, maybe it's just me. I don't know. But I actually did bet Ranger Suarez over 11.5 outs and over 3.5 strikeouts. And I know the risk in doing that. I know how poor he's been. But I'm like, how's he not going to get 4 innings pitched? I mean,
the brain is going Ranger.
I think the Phillies win today. I do. I actually do think the Phillies win today.
I do too. I agree with you.
And I really think the Phillies do when they, again, people, the sky is falling. Yeah, listen, I get it. At the best of 5, you're down 2-1. But what's funny, Anthony, you may disagree with this, but I've always been of the ilk. I'd rather lose the game like yesterday versus a game like game 1. Game like game 1, I'm like depressed. I'm like, oh my God, we wasted Zach Wheeler's best game. 1 hit shutout from Zach Wheeler. We wasted it. Yesterday, I'm like, all right, Manaea pitched great. they deserve to win the game. Now I'm just going on to game 4. It's not like it's not a would.
The shame of it is, Nola pitched well. Like, it's not like he
did.
didn't pitch.
He pitched well. He had 8 strikeouts through 5. He did pitch well.
He got squeezed on that last to walk the bases loaded. I thought he got squeezed on that pitch.
He did, but again, if I'm going to lose a game, I'd rather just not lose the woulda, coulda, shoulda game. Yesterday's a game. Look, give the Mets credit. We move on.
Yeah.
I'll be disappointed, Anthony. Tomorrow's, show. If they don't score their runs here, then to me you can be angry, because this is a guy that is I don't want to call him Taiwan Walker, but he's a guy they should be able to.
He's a left-handed, Walker type.
He's not. This is a game. If you're in a playoff game, an elimination game, this is a game where the bats have to actually step up. And look, the Mets bats have just been better than the Phillies bats. Let's just be fair about it. The Mets have been able to get better at bats than the Phillies have. This is where, again, the Phillies have to be able to score against, in my opinion.
My only fear is that they're tight. Like, they've been swinging the bat tight. Like, after the first inning, like, they hit the ball hard in the first inning, and then they gripped it. And Manai was terrific, but they were gripping it, man.
Yeah, I mean, listen, as I said, again, in these short series, either you get it done or you don't. Baseball is just a complete... You almost have to have amnesia. And what I mean by that is it's like all these games are just going to be close, basically. And either it goes your way or it doesn't. You either make the right play at the big moment or you don't. But again, I think this is a very gettable game for them. Very gettable game. And again, I will be disappointed if they do not score their runs off Quintana. And I think they're going to. I really do, Anthony. I think the Phillies actually do score 5+ runs today.
So do I. I'm with you. Anything else you like today? It's a big day of baseball. 4 games today.
Yeah, it's funny, Anthony. I did bet a couple of strikeout bets. I told you, I bet Clark Schmidt over 3.5 strikeouts. I actually think you're going to call me nuts. I mean, I'm not saying he's the Yankees' best pitcher. That would be disingenuous, but he's been the Yankees' best pitcher for this year. He is an ERA like in the mid-2s. He's actually been good. The dominant strikeout ratio.
I agree. In Kansas City, there's strikeouts in that lineup.
Well, yeah, and in the last 30 games, Kansas City struck out the 10th most times. His strikeout total was 3.5. Again, they're begging. Again, on these overs, it's always tough because you can be lifted. But I think he's been their best starter, even better than Garrett Cole. I don't know why he won't go at least 4 innings. And if he does give at least 4 innings, I think he should get 4+ strikeouts. Dylan Cease, same thing. Again, 4.5 strikeouts. This guy who I think had the 3rd best K rate in all of Major League Baseball, even in the game where he got torched by the Dodgers in Game 1, he still had 5 or 6 strikeouts in 3 innings or whatever. I think during the year, Dylan Cease's strikeout total was 7.5 every game. Now you're making it 4.5. Again,
I agree.
I just think he'll get his 5 strikeouts. But did you watch that game last night? What a great atmosphere in San Diego.
I
got to tell you, I loved it.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it really
San Diego
was awesome.
It was fantastic. I give the Dodgers credit. They came back. I was shocked.
They did. They really did. They're down 6-1, and then Teoscar hit that huge hit. But then it's Anthony. They got, in the last 6 innings, 1 base runner.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Padres bullpen, we've talked about it.
Yeah, it's a weapon.
We're way ahead of ourselves, but if I was a Phillies fan, I'd be rooting for the Dodgers. The Padres, to me, they seem like they have that eye of the tiger. Even though I keep saying all these
I know.
There's something about this Padres team. I don't think anyone. I don't think anyone's even gonna. I think they're gonna kind of run roughshod over everyone else. I agree. There's something about them. I wouldn't want to face. VG, you bet them, right?
I just gave you. I put it out there and you hopped on it.
Yeah, well, I did. Well, VJ, when I meet up with you, I'll have to. Yeah, if they do it, I'll have to take care of you. But
hey, Brad.
Yes, sir.
They always talk about you. Can you see us? Look at these 2 bums.
All right, first off.
All right.
You see that P, right?
I don't want to hear it.
Heck of a nice hoodie.
I don't want to hear it. No, because you're always Phillied up, hoodies and all. And you got the black hat. That's a horrible hat. It's not a Phillies hat. Go with the black. It's like a funeral Phillies hat.
You're right.
In fact, you should take it off.
Anthony, you're always fair. You're always fair, and you're 100% right. But they'll admit it. That's how.
Hey, Jake, listen to this, Brad. You mentioned the Padres. Last night, the Padres gave up a grand slam. They only scored in one inning, and they didn't score after the second inning. They are the only team in Major League Baseball history that's done all that and still won, regular season or postseason.
What a great stat. That is incredible. Yeah, that's, but listen, again, you play enough games, you get results like that. And then, listen, again, give them credit. But again, from a Phillies point of view, guys, I actually really do. I know it sounds weird. But of all the games they played in the postseason, out of the 4 games, this is, I can't tell you why.
They got to hit Quintana.
This is the game.
I'm with you.
I think this is the game I feel most comfortable. They're going to score their runs, and I'll be disappointed if they don't win this one. And then, look, Game 5, that's all you can ask for a few of them. But it's interesting, Anthony, not Zach.
Oh, wow, we lost him. All right, the Brain. Thank you, Brain. Wish him well. I don't know what happened. That was abrupt. Brain brought to us.
We got things jumping around here because he left us.
The Brain brought to us by the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app.
I'm out.
We need this guy, a veteran baseball man.
That's right.
Say hello to Jimmy Stakes, the great Jim Salisbury.
Jimmy.
What's up, Stakes?
Good job by the Fightins last night.
Wow. And two Brute.
Like Red October is feeling a little gray.
Oh, man. This guy, he's going to make us feel better?
He keeps it real all the time.
What's with the Tennessee hat? How come you don't have a red Phillies hat on?
Right. I'm
trying to switch up the mojo.
Don't even try it. JP. He's got a black Phillies hat. Nothing worse than a black Phillies hat.
Black inside.
And VG's out. The Sixers hoodie, Tennessee hat. Stop with these two.
Good old Rocky Top.
The old reporter who I try to go down the middle, I actually brought it out because I wore this in the stands in 2022 when Bryce hit the home run. I was sitting with John Jr. and my cousin Joey, and we watched Bryce hit the home run. So I figured, let me throw it on. It's good luck.
Yeah, it's a good looking shirt you got there, Anthony. I like it. Yeah.
Thanks, Stakes.
Oh, my Sixers hoodie's not good?
No, it's not.
It pop.
It's
horrible.
Pop. It's black. It's horrible. It's not the Sixer colors.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of
Let's get
right
to it. All right. They're gripping, dude. They're gripping.
They're gripping and they ain't ripping.
Yeah. I mean, you see it. First inning. Now, look, all respect to Minaya, who, again, we talked about his arm slot, and he pitched a hell of a game. But
he made himself a lot of money this second half, didn't he? He's a free agent. He made himself a lot of money.
Big time. But, first inning, they had 3 hard hit balls off him. And
they did.
You saw them start to really kind of sawdust it. That's kind of a hallmark of this team is that early innings when they struggle, they really start to get tight. They feel tight to me.
Yeah, and you mentioned the early innings. They have not scored in the early innings. I mean, obviously, Schwarber leads that game 1 off with an emotional bomb, but they just failed to build on it. They haven't gotten any early leads, and when you don't get early leads, and now you're behind, the pressing, as you're talking about, kind of mushrooms, and that's what we've seen. Except for really 4 innings, this offense has done nothing in this postseason, hitting like 200. I mean, last night, 5 hits. None for extra base hits. I thought Minaya pitched great. He got him to chase some balls out of the zone. The turning point to me was that 6th inning where his command kind of goes away. He walks 2 guys, and you got your best and most dangerous hitter in Bryce Harper come up. Minaya, I thought, showed a lot of confidence, opening him up with a first pitch changeup in that at bat. First pitch changeup in, lefty on lefty changeup, where if you miss that spot, Harper should put it in the upper deck. Minaya, a lot of guts throwing that pitch, getting the strike on it, and then he goes away and away with the sweeper, strikeout on 3 pitches. I mean, he strikes somebody like that out on 3 pitches. Huge momentum builder, huge confidence swing, and I thought that was really the key point in the game. And then Castellanos squares one up and hits into a double play. I mean, hit it good. Not his fault. They just after that, you just had the feeling that, my gosh, what do you got to do to beat this Mets team? The Mets look kind of star-kissed to me, and the Phillies look like they're kind of feeling the weight of a year's worth of expectations. These expectations that really started a year ago when they were eliminated, and it looks like it's just kind of.
Funny, I said the same exact thing.
I'm sorry.
I said the same exact thing. They're playing like they're trying to win the World Series in the division series.
Yeah, expectations. They hear it. We think it. They hear it. They know it. They know what the payroll is. They know what the star power is. They know a bunch of great players on that team haven't won rings and the clock is ticking. They're human beings. They know it. And they want it. I will say that they want it really bad too.
Oh, yeah.
They want it really
that.
bad, and they're banging their heads against the wall with frustration because it just ain't happening. The Mets are really pitching them tough and pitching them well, and the Phillies are not getting the bullpen work or the offense that they need to get by a hot team. And maybe it's time we stop calling the Mets a hot team and call them a good team. Look at the records since London when they're head-to-head.
Yeah.
One team's like 25 or 6 over 500. One team's 2 over 500. That's a long stretch of time. That's very telling.
Yeah. No, I agree. But I do think that the expectations are wearing on them. I believe that. The other issue is the lineup has no balance to it as well. Like, they're just not getting enough. When JT gives you nothing, because he kills you, and you need some power, double gap power out of him, and that down in the lineup. They have nothing. Like, once you get past Castellanos, what do you got? That's a problem.
They've got nothing after that, after the middle of the order. But they've only gotten from, top to bottom, really 4 innings worth. The second half of game 2, when they really came alive. Other than that, they've gotten very little from their offense. Certainly not enough. But you're right. You do need balance. The Mets have had balance in their lineup, got good and bad slate in the lineup. Alvarez, they got a big pinch hit from Winker. The Mets look like much more of a complete team than the Phillies do. Phillies are just getting outplayed, really getting outplayed. Quality of the Mets at bats has been much better. Tonight it's a very, very difficult assignment for this team, just because starting pitching is so important. Ranger did not pitch well in the second half or down the stretch, and he hasn't pitched in like 11 days. And him being a guy who, is a change speed locate guy, that can be a significant layoff, and it can affect you. Now, he's also one of these whatever, shrug your shoulders and doesn't think too much. He could go out and pull a rabbit out of a hat. I don't know. But they're going to need him to. They're really going to need him to, and they're going to need to hit.
You know what's funny? I think they hit tonight. I think they hit Quintana. Why?
Okay. Yeah.
Because a couple things. One, Quintana, if you remember, pitched really well against Milwaukee, right? And a lot of times you see a regression start to start when you see, like, look at Michael King. He dominated the Braves, 13 strikeout. Look, then last night the Dodgers get him. Like, I don't like Quintana. I don't think Quintana is very good. So I could see them, hey, you know what? We're down. You almost have nothing to lose. I could see them getting a couple hits. And all you need is 1 or 2. Somebody to come through with a couple knocks, and that opens it up. Then all of a sudden, they start to hit, right? So I actually think now the Ranger situation, I don't know. I'm like you. I don't know what to expect from him. Right. The layoff could help his velocity, which is a couple ticks down. And when he's a couple ticks down, he's really hittable. So, I don't know. I have no idea what to expect there. I do expect them, though, to hit. They should hit Quintana. He's not – Minaya is tough, right? When we talked about his arm slot, that's tough. Quintana's not that good.
Well, I do agree with you on this, that sometimes it only takes 1 or 2 guys to really swing it to all of a sudden build everybody in that dugout's confidence, and it becomes, I know it's a cliche, but it does become contagious. One guy feeds off the other guy, and it becomes like a wildfire through a dugout. That's what they need. They need a big hit early in the game. And I'm not talking swinging from your shoes and hitting into the upper deck. They need a walk and a double in the gap.
They
and
need
everybody
a double
in the dugout. What's that?
They need a double. Yes, they
Yeah,
need
just give me a double.
Yes.
They had no extra base hits last night. On Quintana, see, Quintana is another, he's a guy that is going to try to make you get yourself out, make the hitter get himself out, because he's a finesse lefty who is going to try to get you out off the plate. He's going to try to get you out with balls. And this team swings at balls. That's why I am a little bit worried about the matchup. I think if he is on and he's not making mistakes over the heart of the plate.
I've seen him be very ordinary. I've seen him be very hittable.
So have I. If he's making mistakes over the plate, he's extremely hittable. But if he's getting you out and now making the plate a little bit bigger and walking the ball off the edges, and you're swinging at it, he can be tough because he gets teams to chase. That's his whole MO. Try to make the hitter get himself out by chasing his pitch off the plate. Now, if you don't do that and he needs to move it in off the plate, that's when you pounce. And we need to see some of that early because I think early runs are going to be important. I think if the Phillies fall behind in this game, it's only going to be, more grip the bat, sawdust bat handle, and they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I know.
Anthony, you got to figure – I don't know how they're going to win this game tonight, but they got to figure out a way to get the ball into Zach Wheeler's hands Friday night.
Yeah, and that was my whole premise to start the show. And I don't think it's that by the way, they're a favorite. I should have asked Brad, but I think I saw them. They're a favorite tonight. They were a favorite. I think I checked Parks
this morning. They were minus 110 both sides now.
Okay. I mean,
but they're right there.
I don't think this is, again, Minaya scared me. Like, you like Quintana more than I do.
I think Quintana. I think you're selling Quintana short. They could beat the dog out of him. If he's over the plate making mistakes. But if they're chasing, because he's going to try to make you get yourself out off the plate.
I know the guy. I know it. I hear you.
If they do that, they're going to be in trouble. So, and they got to hit. They got to give Ranger some run support, and they give that bullpen some.
Yes.
Everybody's on the tightrope.
And you know who's got to hit? Freaking JT's got to hit. Like, this is set up for him, right? Because he's not a guy that normally gets himself out. He should hit Quintana. And so should Hayes. Hayes will be back in the lineup, and Hayes should hit Quintana, too. He's the lefty that Hayes mashed in Baltimore.
You think Hayes is in there tonight over Weston Wilson? I don't know.
I think he'll probably go Hayes, but I don't know.
JT's got 19 at-bats against Quintana. 211 he's hitting against them. 4 hits, 19 at-bats.
I think we agree. They just all need to hit. You can't go through another game with no extra base hits.
Nonsense. Give me lifetime means squat. Get out. Come on, man. Like, I look at it, and I see this team, and I go, all right. They're trying, they're pressing so much to try. They feel the weight, like you said it early. They just got to forget that, man. You just got to go win a ball game. You win a ball game and just get home. Like, that's all you got to do. And then, then you let the chips fall where they may.
It's something they've been doing their whole life. You go out and win a ball game, but I'll tell you what, bright lights, big crowd, huge stakes. It does play on the mind. That's why they need to swing it good early in the game. If Quintana makes mistakes over the plate, they need to pound him. If he's trying to get you out off the plate, you need to show some selectivity. You need early base runners, take the crowd out of the game, get an early lead, and you have to hope Ranger keeps you in it. And if he doesn't, it's going to be a parade of relievers, and the bullpen has not pitched. They need to play their best game of the series tonight, all around.
Everything you just said they need to do, Jimmy, they don't do.
Put him in the bathroom.
They don't do it.
Frazier, put Minchie in the bathroom. I can't take him. Put him in the bathroom.
I'm going to lock him up.
I mean, we're asking them to do something that's not what they do.
The next thing you're going to go is kryptonite. You're rooting for kryptonite.
I'm about pounding them, sure.
Oh, my God, dude. Jeez, with your Vols hat. Freaking torture me.
Hey, look, it's baseball. They can play a great game tonight, but they also can play another dog meat game. Who knows? They don't look good. It looks like the end is near, but you go out and have a good game and put the ball in Wheeler's hands. You never know in this crazy sport.
Jimmy, I'll be honest with you. The most Philadelphia thing that would happen is they win tonight, they come home, and then they lose to Wheeler in Game 5, like it's the Cardinals series all over again.
Like it's the dog game. Yeah. Who knows, man? It's an emotional ringer.
I want to throw this at you because it's true. Look at these series, right? Since they started the wild card series going to best of 3, look, the division winners don't move on, right? The Dodgers are facing elimination, right? In the American League, both those other series are tied at 1. Last year, right, the Phillies were the wild card team. Like, it's amazing that, there is a rhythm about playing the game and not taking a break. They got to fix it, man.
It's a who gets hot tournament, and sometimes that favors the team with the least to lose. The loose underdog. We see it in hockey all the time. We saw it a few years ago, that great Tampa Bay team gone in 4 games. We saw it with the Flyers years ago. They get in on the last day and they go to the finals. It's who gets hot. Sometimes the looser team, sometimes looseness and not having the burden of expectation, it helps you play a looser, better brand of ball. It's fascinating.
Hey, Jimmy, if this continues like this, is Kevin Long the scapegoat? It seems like the younger players are not developing with their bats.
I would imagine someone will pay the price. And given the way the offense is going, I mean, it's a fair question to ask, but I think he's a good hitting coach. He's got a great reputation. There have been times they've mashed, but, they go cold at the wrong time. This problem with chasing and problem with selectivity, I think, goes beyond the hitting coach. It's in these guys' DNA. The guys who are free swingers have been free swingers their whole career.
Right.
But I think your question is fair. I think if they lose this game, they will look to change the mix somehow, some way. It might extend to the coaching staff. But let's
talk about this though, Jimmy, for a second. Their lineup is out of whack.
They got to make changes there. They got to get some more contact in there, some more selectivity. But
look at the Padres. Arise makes the Padres a way different team because he sets a table for you. And I don't want to go back into the Schwarber leadoff situation, but in the playoffs, that's a problem. In the playoffs, you can't reinvent the game. There's a reason why.
It's been a problem here. They need more contact. They need more of a diverse lineup. And I think they will look to change the mix maybe in a spot or 2, but it's going to be hard with the long-term contracts.
Well, you need outfield. And Turner's got to come up bigger. He just does.
Yeah.
He kills you.
Yes, I agree. They've lost 4 of their last 5 playoff games with this huge payroll and all this talent. That's just crazy.
I know. Steaks, we love you. What do you think?
Hey, keep the faith. I think we're going to know early. You're going to know if Rangers, if he's on or not. And if they get to Quintana early, I think they'll relax and they'll breathe and they'll put up some runs. But if it's one of these games where it's close and scary in the middle innings and the Mets fans are alive, and that team with the penchant they have right now for that big hit in that big moment, Philly's got to come out early and take control and win that game and get the ball in Zach Wheeler's hands Friday night. And that's it's kind of becomes we'll see, but I'll take my chances on that guy any day. But I will say this, Nola and Wheeler, they've pitched some really very good games over the last few years against the Mets. And then you look at the final result, they have a great line and they lose the game. The Mets are not intimidated or awed in any way by the Phillies' 2 best pitchers. So we shall see.
All right, Steaks. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate
Tell
it.
Greg put a Phillies hat on.
It's been bad luck, Jimmy. I'm out on the Phillies hats for now.
Yeah, he's killing me today. Killing me. He's gutted.
All right, well,
Yeah.
He's telling me we'll see. He's trying to hype me up with Jimmy Steaks. Telling me we'll see.
it's baseball, man. It's always we'll see.
It's true. So I've been trying to tell him.
This
Thanks,
is not Olympic swimming, where if you plug everybody's personal best in and they do their personal best, you win. You know, there's a big variable
A nuance
called
to
the
it.
starting pitcher, and he can dictate a lot. It's like in hockey. There's a big variable called the goaler, and he can dictate a lot. So
Yeah. Yeah. All right, buddy.
go get him.
Thanks, Steaks.
Go get him.
Go get him. Go get him, boys. Let's go, boys. All right. We're going to be going up to New York. We'll get the inside scoop. One of the best Phillies writers out there, Todd Zolecki, will join us to give us the inside scoop. Cannot wait for that. But first, let's talk about some of our friends. I'll tell you about Bet Parks Wednesday. Yes, it's a Bet Parks Wednesday. We had the brain on. He gave you the over strikeouts today. Clark Schmidt for the Yankees. He likes over, and Dylan Cease for the Padres. In case you missed it, he likes over their strikeout totals. You got everything, right? It's 4 big games today. All right, it's going to be a baseball heaven type of day. So check out the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app while you're hanging out. 308 Cleveland, Detroit. I kind of like Cleveland to come back there. No Scoobles. I like Commanders. And then, of course, we got our game. I like the Phils. I think the Phillies score runs. Royals and Yankees, that's a good matchup. And I think the Padres close out the Dodgers tonight in San Diego. 4 games. Check it out. You got football happening tomorrow night, all day Sunday. Birds are a 8.5-point favorite. Oh, over the Browns. Wow. You can check it out. Have some fun while you're playing, while you're betting all the sports. You can play all your casino games, live blackjack dealers. You got roulette. You got baccarat, all of it. In fact, new users download the Bet Parks online casino and sportsbook app. You get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. BetParks.com has all the details. Got to be 21 in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, cuz. Let's talk now about our friends over at TrueMark Financial. Cuz talking to you about getting some money with the Sportsbook app, and obviously now we need to manage that money. You probably want to manage it a little bit better than the Phils, right? Well, that's right. So with TrueMark Financial, what I love about it, in today's day and age, look, I'm busy all the time, right? Between work, at home responsibilities, trying to have a social life, everything kind of catches up to you. But you want to make sure that you're staying on top of those finances. And with TrueMark Financial, their money management tools, it will help you to manage some of those finances easily. The free mobile app allows you to keep track of all the things that you're spending on, exactly where you're spending on, and you can even create some better habits. And even better, you can even have some financial discussions with your young ones. For all my parents out there, it's never too early to start those discussions. And we've been out there in public, right, in major events where we have a lot of people in the place that you're at, and you happen to lose your credit or debit card, you get that little mini heart attack. With the mobile app, you can lock your card, so that way you don't have to deal with that little heart attack. It's awesome. That's why we always recommend that app there for you, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, if you want to start your credit union career here today, you have one of 2 options. You can either visit TrueMark.com/PHLY, or we have 24 branches in the area for TrueMark Financial. You can visit any one of those, ask any questions you may be having, and start your credit union career right then and there. TrueMark Financial is federally insured by the NCUA and is an equal opportunity lender. Get your credit union career started here today with our friends over at TrueMark Financial.
In the bathroom. He's going to the bathroom. Can't take it. Kelly, by the way, Kelly Body, CEO of TrueMark last night was like, "What's going on? What's happening?" She's freaking out. TrueMark sponsors our 10 o'clock hour. TrueMark.com/PHLY. Now let's go up to New York and get the scoop. All right, you want to follow this man. When it comes to the Phillies, I trust this man. Par excellence, MLB.com. He, of course, is Todd Zolecki. Dude.
Yeah, Todd.
Dude.
How you doing?
Oh.
Oh man, these Raiders are just bringing it today.
Well, look, Todd. Those two, right? What do you notice?
I love the Tennessee Volunteers cap.
Yeah. Go Vols.
Right? Every day you're walking in with Phillies gear, right?
So you're trying to act like you don't care. So you're trying to like deflect. You're trying to deflect. Is that what's going on here?
I'm just switching up the mojo.
You're trying to like I really don't care about the Phillies. I'm not like worried about it. I'm not even going to think about it. So I'm going to wear my Tennessee cap. Is that what's going on?
They quit, the two of them. They're quitters. They're fugazis.
Sean and I ripped it out of me, Todd.
They're fugazis, the two of them. And so it's me that the guy, half the journalists still thinks I am. I'm putting on the mojo today. They're gonna hit Quintana.
I can see that happening. You know, it's funny. I've seen this. I mean, we've seen it so many times in all sports, not just baseball. But a team looks dead in the water, and then they totally flip the script and they change the narrative, and maybe the Phillies win at night, and then they go in and win Game 5, and it's like, oh my gosh! Remember when after Game 3 everybody thought they were cooked? So they have the ability to do that. Now they got to go out and do it. They haven't done it yet. You know, they've been. What we've been seeing, I feel like, is a lot of what we've seen the last few months, which is just a really kind of plodding offense, a lot of bad at bats, inability to string together hits, and that's why they are where they are. But I will say, post game,
yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. What was it like in that room?
It wasn't. I feel like it was, and I don't want to. I'm going to say upbeat. Not upbeat, but I feel like after Game 6 last year of the NLCS, it was a little bit of a darker vibe, a little bit of a darker feel. Like they said, of course, they all said the right things, which is, we can win this game. We got our guys on the mound, and we're confident. We got home field and all that. I feel like yesterday there was a little bit more upbeat, a little bit more optimistic. Saw a couple smiles. Take this for what it's worth. I'm not saying he's going to pitch well tonight. I am not saying that. But when Ranger Suarez was packing up and leaving the clubhouse, he had a little bit of a smirk on his face, like the weight of the world. He was not feeling the weight of the world on his shoulders. So I think one thing you can expect out of Ranger tonight is that he's not going to be nervous. Not saying he's going to pitch well. He hasn't pitched well since mid-June. But but I don't think the moment is going to be too big for him. I don't think he's going to shrivel up on that mound tonight at Citi Field.
Let's talk about Ranger while we're on the subject, and we'll get back to the offense. What do you think the issues? Obviously, he lost a couple ticks on his velocity, which we talked about his lower half not being in sync, kind of stiff. It was not being in sync. He's throwing better bullpens? I mean, what's the word?
Yeah, so I just feel like he never got back into shape. He finally acknowledged a couple weeks ago that he never got his legs under him because of his back, and he lost something there. So they played this inter-squad game on Wednesday at Citizens Bank Park. We didn't get to watch it, but supposedly Ranger looked pretty good for 2 innings. I don't know what that means. Rob Thompson said his command looked like it was better. It looked like he had a little bit more velocity. Not that he's a velocity guy, but he said he could locate his stuff better. His off-speed stuff was better. So maybe he turned a corner. Maybe he made a mechanical adjustment. And really, that's kind of all you can hope for right now. Best case scenario for Ranger, I don't know what you do. I guess maybe like the best case scenario is that he goes 5 innings. But I feel like if they can just get him through the lineup one time unscathed, and maybe you can push him a little bit beyond that, that would be great. But certainly they need something much better than they've gotten since he came back from the injury list. He just has not been very good.
No, I know. I mean, again, let's get back to the lineup because, man, they feel like they're trying to win the World Series in the division series. Like, it feels like the first inning, they hit the ball hard. Like they got 3 good at bats against Minaya. And I'll give Minaya credit because I do think that arm slot's real. That means something. And God bless him. I mean, the change up to Bryce was nasty, right? It was exactly where you need to be. Comes from the same slot. right? He thinks it's a fastball the way it looks. So I get it. He sped up his bat. But the rest of the at-bats, other than Castellanos, Bryce, were not good. They were very tight. It feels like if they're not hitting early, they get tight.
I agree. I feel like they've been tight. I feel like they are thinking they know what's at stake. They know they have a ton of very expensive players in their early 30s. They know that the window, maybe not for the Phillies, is closing. They can extend it longer, but for this core of players, it's limited. And I feel like there is some press there. I feel like and it's showed in some of these at bats. I was wondering after that first inning. They hit all 3 balls were hit like 106 or harder. So they smoked Minaya in the first inning. All of them were outs. And I know anytime I tweet about like exit video, people are like, oh, what? Give me 3 60-mile-an-hour bloop singles. I get it. Yes, of course. But you hit 3 straight balls, 106 miles an hour. You go, okay, if you keep doing that, those balls are going to go over the wall, or they're going to go off the wall, or they're going to go into the gap, and they're going to be base hits. So I was very curious to see kind of how if that continued, and it didn't continue. So that I think there's a lot of guys pressing right now. The bottom of the lineup is kind of non-existent. Things aren't going good, and when after the game, and you see on Twitter people saying, maybe they should start Weston Wilson in left field over Austin Hayes. If that's the conversation, that Weston Wilson can maybe save your offense, you're not in a good spot.
No.
You're just not in a good spot. This game Game 4 should not matter on who's playing left field for the Phillies. It shouldn't. It should be an afterthought. They need some better at bats from their big guys at the top of the lineup and in the middle of the lineup. I think JT's like 0 for 9 this postseason, or 1 for 9. Brandon Marsh has struggled. Alec Boehm, of course, has struggled. He's 1 for 10. I think Schwarber's 2 for 12. So they need these guys, the big guys, the all-stars, to step up, and they haven't done it so far.
No, and like JT kills you, because the other piece of it is you're not there's no balance to the lineup, right? If JT's not giving you any kind of, and I'm talking about doubles power, right? Like, he's not giving you that. Like, you need someone that can produce runs in that piece of it. And if he's not giving you that makes your lineup completely easy to navigate.
I don't know about you guys, but when I'm watching the game, once they get through Castellanos, you're kind of going, they got to get back up to the top of the lineup again to have a chance to score. You just don't have any faith right now with the at-bats that they're giving them at the bottom of the lineup to string together some base hits, Real Muto or otherwise. Marsh, Rojas, is Sosa or Stott, same thing. Everybody's all, Stott have started last night in Game 3. Again, if you're freaking out about Stott or Sosa at second base, that means you have some, the bigger issues are out there.
Let me ask you a question. I'm just curious. We've been talking about it a little bit, and I know what Schwarber means to the leadoff spot, to that team and everything else, but does it hurt you in the playoffs? Like, when you need to grind, and also your power, right? Like, the way this team's built, Castellanos is better if you could push him down a little bit, right? Like, and then all of a sudden, someone on base, he goes yard, it just makes baseball sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's been an argument for a while. Where does Kyle Schwarber hit? Now, I will say, when you look at,
I'm just talking playoffs, and I'm just talking more playoffs. Like, right. I mean, because of the balance of the lineup.
Yeah, but I know that just Rob is not going to change that.
No. I wasn't suggesting that. I was just talking in theory.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different things with this lineup right now that it's just not. It's not. If you could flip a switch or make a change, there's some. You would like to see some. There's different options that they could have, I guess you could say, or some different things you would like to see them do, but they don't really have those guys, I guess, to so to speak. I think Trey Turner is more comfortable hitting second. Boehm has been. I don't know what's going on with Alec Boehm right now. He's not taking any pitches. He's swinging it, early in the count. He's getting himself out. He had that ball into the gap, and then he gets thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double. But they got to jump on somebody early for once in this series.
I have
to. I know. Jim was just on, and he brought it up that other than the final 4 innings in Game 2. They really haven't had any good at-bats, and they haven't gotten any early leads. I know Schwarber hit the leadoff home run in Game 1, but they didn't add on to that. I mean, you can't just win every game 1-0 and hope after Kyle Schwarber hits a leadoff home run. You have to string some stuff together. Put a little pressure on the Mets. Put a little pressure on the Mets today. Take a 4-0 lead in the second inning, and then have them going, oh shoot, now we've got to and Rangers on, or oh shoot, now they're going to go to this bullpen. The bullpen has not pitched well. But I still I still like my chances with this bullpen based off their track record.
Yeah, I do too. Let's kind of dive into Turner, because I just think you need more out of him. Look, I was great. He was on base before the Bryce home run and in the 9th inning during the rally. But you got to get more production, right? Like, he's a guy that gives you more than just a single and a walk, right? Like, he's a guy that's got power. He's a guy that's got pop in his bat. He's got to do more. Like, for the money that contract, I mean, I hate to bring that part of it up, but he's been wildly inconsistent, and he needs to give you more run production.
Yeah, I feel like coming into this postseason, for me, he was my – I can't even say like secret weapon or whatever, but key to the series, I guess you could say, because I feel like when Trey Turner is on, just a single, he can take that single, steal second base, and now he's in second base. He hits the ball in the gap, he's got an opportunity for a triple, a surefire double. I mean, the guy never gets thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double. And when Trey Turner is on and he's on base, I feel like that really gets this offense cooking. So I agree with you. I think they need more from Trey Turner. The money aside, just his talent, just his ability to be a catalyst for this offense. And he hasn't done it. He's got it. They need, if Schwarber's not going, they need to get Turner going. They need to get somebody on base with Harper.
Hey Todd, I know you said if we're talking about Weston Wilson, we have a problem pretty much. It's not really going to matter. But when you look at what the bottom of the lineup's been doing, and you look at the numbers against lefties, Weston Wilson is pretty successful, and Cody Clemens has really great reverse numbers like against lefties.
Right.
I'm just confused why these guys aren't getting in the lineup. It's not like we're taking them out for someone substantial. It's Austin Hayes and Edmundo Sosa.
Right. And I agree with that. I think it came down to, for Austin Hayes, I'm not going to say, I think a lot of it is because of his experience, because he was the key pickup at the trade deadline, and they just believe in his splits against lefties are very, very good as well. I mean, he was like 950 regular season against lefties. Weston Wilson is over 1,000 OPS against lefties in the regular season. So I think that's why they went with Austin Hayes, or they've been leaning towards Austin Hayes in the postseason and late in the season, because of his experience, because he was the trade deadline acquisition, because they just believe in him as a potential everyday player. But I agree. And I think Weston Wilson is going to start tonight, just based off of what Rob Thompson said. He's like, we're going to have to look into that. Hayes looked rusty at the plate. He said that post game. And so if you just read between the lines there, it sounds like they are really leaning towards going in a different direction. So I agree with you there. I guess, again, and you understand my point, which is, man, if you're talking about Austin Hayes or Sosa versus Stott or whatever, that means,
Yeah, I totally
you can't be relying on your 7 and 8 guys. If you're thinking like the 7 and 8 guys can save the season, it's kind of like, again, like Johan Rojas last year. Everybody was killing Johan Rojas, and I get it. He was 4 for 43 in the postseason, 1 walk, 15 strikeouts. He was a black hole in that 9-hole all postseason. But it was like, well, what was everybody else doing in those first day spots? So first 6, 7 guys in the lineup are doing what they're supposed to do. You can live with Hayes or Wilson, or those moves become a little bit less consequential.
I've been banging the drum for Clemens. He's in 290 against starting left-handed pitching, and we keep talking about grinding out at bats. He's the one guy who grinds out at bats.
Yeah, he does grind. Yeah, I would like to see a little bit more Cody Clemens. I thought he might have started the other day in Game 2 at third base, but I think I'm trying to think. Well, with Sanchez and the changeups and stuff like that, I think they wanted like a better defensive third baseman, which is why they put Sosa over there. So, right? Sosa.
They've got
third?
yeah.
Sosa's at third. Yeah, that's why. So, but I agree with you. I think the
Severino
bat
game.
there would make
I don't bat him against a lefty. I know he's
Who?
got reverse splits.
I mean,
I know. I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I mean, if it was, I would play him against a right-hander.
his numbers are terrible against right-handed.
I know. I know the right. I don't. It all depends on who the matchup is. But I'm not a big believer in that.
Yeah, the reverse splits are weird with Clemens, but I think that's why too. Is that you look? I don't know what Quintana's splits are against lefties,
Some
but
of
that certainly
stuff is
comes
an
into play.
anomaly from year to year.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I mean, the truth of the matter is, looking ahead. I don't want to get too far ahead because I actually think they're going to win tonight. But they got to fix. You have to fix the outfield, right? Like, and you got to get more contact guys. Like you got to switch up the facade, right? Like the backdrop of this lineup. I just think that's a piece of it. You think there's any regret in Dombrowski not going in with a bigger name, with a bigger splash other than Hayes?
At the trade deadline? Well, I think the only thing I'm trying to think of a bigger name out there that could have really helped them
Robert
out.
was the name that was out there. Luis Robert.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, boy, he really kind of fell off the cliff in the second half, as with with all the other White Sox.
Well, yeah, that team stunk.
Yeah, but
Rooker, but Rooker was in trouble. Yeah,
Rooker is I think he played like 3 games in left field the entire season. So, and I remember asking some scouts about him. I said, is he that bad that Oakland wouldn't play him in left field? Like, he's not good. So then you give up some defense in left field. But I agree. I think that this looking ahead, if they win the World Series or if they lose tonight and the season's over, I think they absolutely need to go into the offseason going, what are we going to do in the outfield? If that's making a trade, if that's signing a free agent, if that's moving some people, I would look at Justin Crawford, who's their number 3 prospect. I would put him in camp next spring, and say, if you go out there and play well, you might have a chance to make this team and really push Johan Rojas in center field. And if you make the team coming out of camp, you have an opportunity. If you play well in AAA to start the year, you can make this team. So I think they need to look at some of those things to inject some life and a new look into this lineup, because it's just too much of the same. I mean, I feel like every week it's kind of like, well, a lot of chase in this series, a lot of chase in that series, a lot of swing and miss. But when this team's on, boy, they can really score a bunch of runs. True, but man, it has not happened consistently since really early June.
How much is there a lot of talk up there about the whole format? Like, you look at these division winners, like the Dodgers are about to get eliminated in San Diego, right? The numbers they are astounding. Since they went to a 3-game series in the wild card, these division winners who sit just get beat, right? The Phillies beat the Braves the last 2 years. We've seen it.
Yeah, I think coming in certainly the last 2 years, I think the division winners were 3-5 in the division series. So it's a small sample. It's a small sample size, and and some of those teams have talked about the layoff and how it's affected them, and maybe that the team that wins the wild card series is playing, has a little bit more momentum on their side and all of that, and that's true. But I also think that some of those division teams. Look at the Phillies this year, and I think you can look up and down the lineup and see a lot of holes. I think you look at the Dodgers and you see some holes as well, and the Padres, even coming into the playoffs, we're like, that might be the best team in the National League right now, the Padres.
Yeah.
And look at the Mets. They had the second best record in baseball since they got back from London. Yeah. So I feel like it has more to do with that than maybe the format. But there's still no excuses. These didn't affect the Astros in 2022. They went on and won the World Series after that.
No, it's a great point, fair point. And it's funny. Bring up the Padres. Look what Arise does for them, right? Like all of a sudden, the lineup is fixed. Now Jackson Merrill has a lot to do with it too, but like their lineup is so much different with that guy leading off.
Totally, and he's got a great swing. He puts the ball in play. He's just trying to make contact. He gives you good at bats. In a lot of ways, I felt like Bryson Stott should be that guy. He doesn't overswing. He's got a good 2-strike approach. He gets into his 2-strike, stance there and tries to. But he just has not had a great year. I feel like if Bryson Stott was doing what he was supposed to do, really kind of what he was doing through the end of August last season, he was hitting mid-August last season, he was hitting 300. If you have that version of Bryson Stott, the lineup looks better. If you have the first half version of Alec Boehm, this lineup looks better. But neither of those guys have really produced lately. But yeah, a guy like Arise, man, he would be, because you just know every day you're going to get great at bats from him. Yeah. And maybe he can string together a couple base hits.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. How amazing would that be?
How was Bryce after?
Bryce, I've seen him more frustrated. I think he knows what's at stake. I think he was very frustrated with his at-bats yesterday, particularly that one in the 6th inning. You mentioned the changeup there from Manaea to start it, but then he chased 2 pitches off the plate. It was just like, oh my gosh. Manaea had thrown 8 out of 9 pitches for balls leading into that Harper at bat, walking Schwarber and Turner. And you're sitting there going, this is literally the Bryce Harper moment. That's what I was thinking. That is the Bryce Harper moment. Here it comes. And boom, 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 1, 2, 3, strike 3.
Did you see that they did a breakdown of it at the studio show later that night, and you saw him off the sweepers, his balance. He was completely off balance, especially the third swing. It was like you could see it. It was like he just was so front by the third strike when it's 0-2 and he throws the second sweeper. His feet were out of whack. Yeah, he was completely off balance.
Rob Thompson said last night after the game he feels that was a moment where Bryce was just trying to carry the entire team on his shoulders.
Yeah,
I think which is kind of. Every hitter gets that way, of course, but I feel like it's a little bit uncharacteristic for Bryce because in the postseason he has been so locked in, and he has been. Just focused on the next pitch, and he's been so good. So to see him take 3 swings like that, and again, quality pitches were great and whatnot, but to see that from him in that moment was kind of jarring.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Well, brother,
hope for the best with Ranger tonight, I guess.
That's it, right? Like that's it.
But, even if we get the best with Ranger, we need runs.
That's right, and you're right. Yeah, if they can get out to an early lead, maybe they can put some pressure on the Mets for a change instead of I remember Roy Oswalt when he was pitching for the Phillies. They were in some run where they weren't scoring any runs, and we said, how frustrating is it? What's it feel like when you're out there? And he says, it's kind of like trying to dance between raindrops. You know what I mean?
Oh, man. Yeah.
Philly
starting pitching has gotten 1 run of support in 3 games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So you can't do that to Ranger. He needs all the help he can get. So give him some run, give him some protection, make him feel good about himself, make him feel like I can be aggressive. So if I make a mistake, we're not going to be down 2-0 and the game's over. So they need that.
What was the atmosphere there? Crazy.
It was loud. It's not Citizens Bank Park though.
Right.
It's loud. It's New York. But it's not as crazy as it is in Philly. Nick Castellanos said last night the Mets don't want to go back to Philly in Game 5. I agree with that, but Phillies have lost 3 out of their last 4 games at home in the postseason as well. So
I know
they got to flip that script.
That's the funny thing that we were saying, right? Which is it'd be so Philadelphian for them to win tonight and then come back Friday night and then lose.
With Wheeler on the mound again.
Exactly. I remember, there was no way I thought that they would lose Game 5 to the Cardinals. They had hit Carpenter. They had Halladay pitching, right, in 2011. He gives up like the first. He always gave up maybe a run or got in a little trouble in the first inning, and then he would just be lights out. And it's 1-0, and they just never put anything together that entire game. And Banya's hit a ball that I thought had a chance to go out. It kind of got knocked down.
Yeah. Utley hit one in the wall.
Yeah.
He hit one of the warning track. And in a lot of ways, that 2011 season, that team kind of reminds me of this team.
Yes.
Just the way that this team is playing right now. They're getting some good starting pitching. But, man, that you just did not have good vibes with that offense that they would be able to come through with the big hit. And they did not come through with that big hit in Game 5 of the NLDS against the Cardinals, of course. So that would be something if they got back to Game 5 and Wheeler dealt again and they lost again. But the $100 million players got to step up.
I don't want to even go there.
Right.
My brother, you're the best, man. I'll be following you all day today, as always. So
right,
thanks, pal.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
There he is, the great Todd Zolecki.
Yeah.
You guys got me freaked.
Well, I'm freaked.
Yeah.
It's a freak day, man.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Wish I was at Ocean City watching the waves roll in.
All right. JP, tell us about some ace.
You know what? We could use some ace to fix our feelings right now. Hopefully they could do that too. But if not, listen, what they can do is fix what's going on outside your house. All right, right now, inside your house, like that wall right now is missing something, just like the Phillies bats right now. All right, so you want to make sure that whatever it is, inside or outside the house, you get it at Ace Hardware. It's our local neighborhood store, all right? Hardware store, that is. And listen, if you are like myself, where if you don't feel like doing it, I'll be completely honest, or number two, you're not the best at doing it, what Ace Hardware will do is they'll bring a trained professional out to your home and they will do the fixing there for you. There's nothing better than that. That's why they're super convenient. So right now, you don't have to wait anymore. Start that next project here with our friends over at Ace. All you got to do is very simple. Visit www.acehardwarehomeservices.com and you can get your next project started here today. Or listen, they're the best people over there. You could probably even walk into your local neighborhood Ace and they can get you set up with a trained professional right then and there as well. So don't wait around just like the Phillies bats to get hot. Get that next project started here today with our friends over at Ace Hardware, cuz
Ace is the helpful place. All right.
I thought you were going to go somewhere funny with that with the Phillies.
I'm kind of leaving it out there so you can actually fill in the blank, if that makes sense.
I'm like the Phillies bats right now, cuz I don't know.
Right? Let's talk about the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Oh, man. You know what I love about the copy? I'm looking at the copy from my man Mike, and he goes, even if your team doesn't score, there's always another way to win on the Bet Parks app. Playing all your favorite casino games like blackjack, craps, roulette, and hot online slots.
I like a hot
That's a
online
veiled
slot.
shot. Even if your own team can't score.
Jeez, still have some fun.
Oh, my God. Yeah, you can. That's right. Well, here you go today. A full slate of MLB action. Cleveland, Detroit gets it started. And then there it is, Game 4, Phillies, Mets. Oh, my God. I'm just nervous thinking about it. Oh, my God. It is crazy. Yankees, Royals, and then Dodgers, Padres. That's all coming up. We got the burst. How the Eagles, an 8.5-point favorite. That is a big line. Birds, 8.5-point favorites.
You got me excited with that Yankees Royals talk. It was a Lugo day.
It's a Hakalugo.
Hakalugo day.
It is.
I'm in again.
Yeah, Hakalugo on KC. New users, in fact, download the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino sportsbook app. You'll get up to $1,000 casino bonus if you're down in the first 24 hours. BetParks.com has all the details, so you can check it out. You're going to be in PA, New Jersey, Ohio, Maryland, Michigan. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, boys. This is it. Let's get the discussion rolling. And if anybody in our chat, by the way, including Uncle Frank, wants to check in, please do.
Yeah, hop in and vent.
Can I just bring something up?
Yeah.
VG sent me a picture earlier in the show to put up
For Nugs.
and it is just been grinding me because I want you guys to look at this. We are losing to this guy.
Right.
To that. We're losing to that guy.
He's such a cornball. I can't
stand him. I agree. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, he is the worst.
And we might have helped him get paid because he's obviously looking for that new contract.
No, he's horrible too. I agree.
They don't even like him up there. They were ready to get him out of town. Suddenly he's on fire.
Why is he the polar bear? What a horrible
he
name.
He looks like a polar bear.
That's what I said.
He does.
Not for nothing.
He looks just like a polar bear.
Whole bear vibe.
People have...
Looks like Winnie the Pooh.
He looks like a polar... No, he looks like a polar bear. Like the head, the way...
Yeah, the neck. The
hair, the chest hair. He looks just like a polar bear.
Yeah.
Everything about this team drives me nuts.
Well, no, I know. I feel the same way. It was funny. I had a Met fan chime in at me and was like, you're mocking OMG and you're mocking Grimace.
Terrible song.
Well, everything about it is just corny.
It's so corny.
I
It's
know.
why it hurts so bad.
Well, it does hurt bad. Like, listen, they're going into it, and again, what are you going to say? You can't say anything. They get timely hitting, right? Like, think about it. You know what's devastating is you bring up the polar bear. God, it should be Milwaukee. He bailed them out.
Should be, yeah.
He bailed them out. That game was over. The series was over. We were facing Milwaukee. And I remember thinking, I was texting cousin Joey, and I was going, it's fun. He's like, this is what it's fun, baseball. And I'm like, yeah. Much rather have the Brewers. But it made for a great, matchup.
Well, what's killing
Phil's Mets, Holy War.
We need to find that pumpkin.
Sucks to be on the losing end of it.
What's killing us is the Mets pitching, because we thought we were going to take care of that pitching, and so far they've stepped up that pitching.
Well, if you go back to it, yeah, I mean,
They're just
one thing
throwing
we talked
screwballs at us, and we just can't hit the screw like
that's
bunny
the
balls.
only. Yeah, they did it.
Like, boo, 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 and they're just missing.
In fact, they showed at the post game show after the Padres Dodgers, they had a Bucks Bunny thing when they talk about the Phillies, just swinging it in.
We got a super chat from Robert Dredden. I think
Robert.
I would rather get kicked in the jewels than see a team with a McDonald's mascot embarrass us again. Can't believe I'm saying this, but go Phils.
Brother, you are spot on, man. I know. And there's those Grimace costumes.
And the stinking magic pumpkin.
Oh, dude.
Why do we need to smash it?
Nothing more cornier than that, too, man.
The Magic Pumpkin.
Oh,
What is he, Charlie Brown and the giant pumpkin or whatever? Come on.
They're going pumpkin picking in the middle of a wild card series, dude. Like, what?
Dude, I know it.
This is what we're losing to.
But here's
Bills.
the problem, though, right? Because if it's flipped, we would be doing stuff like that too.
We're going pumpkin picking, cuz?
Well, you get my point. Like, things become a thing.
Yeah, but how many
Right?
things
Like,
do you need?
They become a thing. I know. They're just one after another. We're the same way, though. I got to keep it
You're
real.
forgetting they got the Hoctua girls part of this movement.
Oh, yeah. That's
It's just it's corny and corny.
It is.
The
I'd rather have Hakalugo.
We got the Enforcer 1990 with a super chat. The Mets made me hate Grimace, and Wrinkler has that punchable face.
I like that. Oh, my God. The spiking on
Winky.
the helmet. against
Winkler
Milwaukee.
is brutal.
Winker.
I just think of Henry Winkler.
Yeah, no, the
Fonz.
I can't stand Winker. I hated Winker. You know what's interesting? And that's a great super chat talking about his face. You're spot on.
Super
So
hate the
Winker was an enemy of the state of the Mets.
He was?
Yes. He hit a home run at Citi Field when he was with Washington. And he gave the fans a salute.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So then he comes back, right? And it was like a contentious kind of, the Mets trade for him, right? It's a little contentious. And he comes up with a big hit, and he changed the salute to like a true salute. Like that he salute the fan. Like, I hate to say this, but it feels like all their stuff is working out.
They're literally us from 2022. They're literally the Phillies of 2022.
You know what else?
Like, that's a torturous statement, and you're not wrong. They
Everything
feel
about
like
it.
they feel like us. We feel like the Braves.
Yeah.
Yes.
What happened to
Yeah.
Austin Riley? What happened to Ozzy Albies? What happened to
We're whining about the days
Acuna?
off. This is not fair. We got a week
Yeah.
off. We
Yeah.
sound like Braves fans.
It's true, though. It really is. The script has, like, flipped on us.
You know what else is working out, which I'm a little irritated with? The Padres are never shy to trade prospects. They've been all in the last 2 years unloading prospects, and it's worked out for them. You're talking about Arias. They traded like a 6th, a 9th, and a 13th prospect in their system for that. And the Phillies just
I mean, they
holding
also
on to these
traded.
prospects
Think
at
about it.
this
They
point.
also traded Soto.
Yeah.
I'm going to let Soto walk. I mean,
Yeah.
they traded for him and then let him walk.
Yeah, but
I mean, if we let him walk, that would be holy hell.
We could use an Arias right now.
Well, I agree. I mean, I just brought that up to both
No,
Jim
spot on,
and
Cuz.
to Todd
They're just
about the leadoff spot. I don't want to it's not going to change
No,
now.
yeah.
I'm not saying that, but they do need more balance. I don't know. I mean, was Luis Robert the right guy? See, the only problem I have with the prospect, like if you're going to trade one of the blue chip prospects, is you got to be right. Like you just can't go all in and like the Rooker. It feels like he was a problem because of the field.
Yeah.
I mean, that's real. That stuff's real, right?
I guess. But we did okay with Schwarber in left field. Can he be worse than Schwarber in left field?
I mean, how do you have Rooker and Castellanos?
Then Rojas is
you
fine.
need Gary Maddox
Yeah,
to play center
we
field.
have Gary Maddox,
He's
apparently.
not Gary Maddox. 2/3 of the earth is covered by water. The other third is covered by Gary Lee Maddox. That was the bumper sticker.
His strides were so long.
Yeah.
I was like, even look like the Braves at 21 when they won. Like, look at those corner outfielders. I was worried. I was scared. Anybody was that Duvall, Rosario?
Yeah, but
Soler
Duvall,
got hot,
but again, Duvall had pop, right? Rosario stole a bunch of bases. Lefty, he had a little pop, left-handed. They were veteran guys that came in and did it.
I'd rather have an outfielder who's got better bat and subpar defense at this point.
No, but you you already got Castellanos. Now, he's good in.
Yeah, I'm fine with Casilla.
No, but again, what I mean you got Castellanos is you can't have two guys that are not fleet of foot.
Two butchers.
You can't. I mean, listen, he gives you great effort, defense, he works hard on it, but let's not get it twisted.
Yeah, no, you're right.
He's not a good defensive outfielder. He's not, that guy. So you can't have two of those guys out there. You can't win like that. You still have to worry. Defense has been a problem. Look what we got on turn. The issue really, honestly, is I love the Turner signing. He's been a disappointment, huge disappointment.
It's a
Seriously.
disaster contract, a disaster. If he continues playing like this, it's 2033 he's here.
Was he get 10 more years with him?
I know it sounds. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Now you got the
Crazy.
But
Netflix
he's
special.
got to do more, way more.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened to his power?
Remember he was in the baseball classic or world championship?
Oh, he got so
it was
giddy.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
But he's not listen, he had a good year average wise compared to what the game is today. But what happened to his pop? What happened to his splash? Trey Turner, when he was with Washington and the Dodgers,
Yeah.
he had splash, man. And he still has the speed.
He does.
It's pretty just mind-boggling who he is, because he was the perfect player for this top of this lineup.
Honestly, I mean, as much as we talk about daycare killing you,
I mean,
JT's obvious, but I go back to Turner, man. You need more out of Turner. That top of the lineup needs to generate crooked numbers all the time.
I mean, I hear what you're saying too, but I go back to my point earlier. You need, after Cassie, you need those guys to give you something. I mean, these are the playoffs. Obviously, star players are going to do their thing, but you need those other guys to set you up, and you're just not
that's
getting
where
that.
JT
Our
is.
star players are not doing their thing.
Well,
Well, I mean, game 1 and 2. I mean, obviously you had Schwarber with the leadoff home run, and
He's
then
2
game
for
2.
12. He hasn't done anything.
Yeah, he's
and
so
the other hit came in the 9th inning when it was done yesterday.
Yeah, Manaea really.
I mean,
had his
in
number
reality,
yesterday.
when it really mattered, he's 1 for 11. Hey, it was great to lead off the Schwarber bomb. We love the Schwarber bomb, but he's got to do more. He does. I mean, really, up until this point, it's been Bryce and Castellanos.
I was concerned because now you got another junk lefty today with Quintana going up against this line.
But he's not. I hate that guy.
I'm not defending Schwarber at all, but yesterday Manaea threw 91 pitches to 26 batters, and Schwarber saw 20 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, and then Bryce will be like, "Oh, we got to grind it out," but we're not. They're not grinding. Nobody on this team is grinding anything.
Well,
right now.
I mean, listen, he had a bad at bat in the 6th inning. That's it. But if you talk about anybody else,
I mean, Harper
grinding.
he had 9 pitches by Manaea thrown to him, and he swung at 9 of them, and he gets 3 outs. That was his line: 9 pitches, 9 swings, 3 outs. I mean,
A lot of these guys are impatient or they're just too tight.
well, I mean, in Bryce in that spot, I think it's pretty obvious what was going through. And I don't mind, again, swinging first pitch if you're judicious with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one's saying you should take, like, that's not good baseball either.
no, if you're expecting a
Like-
heater and it's a heater
Like,
in
if
the
he's
zone,
around the zone,
yeah.
like, you just can't sit and just look, right? The problem with Bohm right now, like, Bohm's killing.
Oh,
How
my
many
God.
pitches did Bohm see?
Probably 6 and
Right?
4
Like,
at bats.
I mean,
And like he can't buy anything. He's got the double and
Gets thrown out at
perfect
second.
throw. Hits
Yeah.
him like in the head.
Yeah, and mentally,
basically.
he's got to be so like just locked. He's bricked up.
And Trey's a butcher in the
What's that?
field too. Hey, the stolen base last night. I mean,
Dropped
that
the
guy was
ball.
picked off.
yeah,
Yeah,
drop the ball.
he's been a disappointment all around.
He has. He's been a huge. I mean, again, we talk about that contract is mammoth.
Yeah, that's a
That's a
burden.
mammoth. It is. Because here's the other problem: is that I don't want to look too far ahead, but like, what happens in 3-4 years?
if this keeps up.
You know what I mean? Like that's and the other issue too is I keep going back to it. I kind of feel bad in this sense. Like they want to win. Like it's not they don't I hear people say, "Oh, look, they don't care. They don't care." That's not it. It's
Yeah,
the
I don't-
opposite.
Yeah, I don't believe that with this team.
It's the opposite. Sometimes there's guys that just don't like they don't care, and it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Like they got no conscience. Like Allen Iverson. The greatness of Iverson was that he could be 4 for 30, and if it's the 35th shot, he's taking it.
Right.
He's got no conscience. Like that's a big deal.
It is. It's rare. I mean, it's
And in baseball, man, you can't bring the previous at bat. You got to look at. I was talking to David Segui yesterday for our MLB show. He had the greatest line. In fact, I was telling Massimo the line because he's going through his struggles, and I go, dude, you play video games. What do you do early when you play video games and you're getting killed in the game?
see, reset it.
Reset.
Right.
Right? Thank you. Reset. Hit the reset button. You attack sports the way you attack a video game. Until you get to master it, and again, you're never going to be a master at it, but until you get to master it, hit the reset button.
And if you're tense, I had a friend who was a Olympic qualifying javelin thrower, and she would tell me like the whipping motion. Like if you're not completely loose, you're not going to throw the javelin as far as you can. And if you're just a little tense swinging that baseball bat, your bat speed decreases, and you can see that. You're right, man. These guys are really pressing.
Are you guys ready for this? This is really gonna sound bad. So Alec Bohm in 4 at bats, he saw 5 pitches. 5 yesterday. That is terrible.
5 pitches?
5 pitches, cuz.
Oh
In
my
4
God.
at bats.
Oh my! Are you serious?
I just counted it all.
Well, Saturday and
I can
Sunday
go- I
was
can
the
go
same
Sunday.
thing, or Saturday was the same thing. By the way, I want to give credit to 2 of our great listeners, Eddie Wright
Yeah.
and Tony the Ref. They both coined the phrase. I don't even think they know it. Tobias Turner. Tobias Turner. Hey, you want to talk about spot on, man?
Man, if
Right
if
now?
that's the case,
I'm not there yet.
we got problems.
Tobias literally put 0 points in an elimination game. Trey hasn't gotten that. Trey's been bad. I'm not gonna say that.
No, but it feels
close.
eerily similar.
Taiwan
Listen,
Walker's
there were
more
moments that Tobias had, but anytime he came up, anytime it mattered, he shrunk. He was just shrinking violet.
It's weird. Like Trey was okay in LA. That's a big market. I don't know why he's having problems here.
Yeah, he's just not delivered.
Mm-mm.
And again, he's just big moments disappearing. Like you need him right now. He's crucial. I got news for you. Tonight is a major night for him because Quintana, he matches up. He's got to get 2 hits, driving a run or whatever.
But you got to get him in the zone. They got to take a couple pitches, make sure Quintana's in the zone. If he throws anything close to the zone, it should be mashable.
Yes, that's what I mean. And he's a right.
Chasing.
Well, the lefties you always worry about with that, but the right-handers, Castellanos, Turner, this is where they got to do it. By the way, where's Uncle Frank?
We got Enforcer 1990 with another super chat. Let's hope the Lone Ranger comes up big tonight and the bats wake up. Go Phils.
I love it. Thank you for that super chat.
Let me reread it. Let's hope the Lone Ranger comes up big tonight and the bats wake up. Go Phils.
There you go. That's finally. I've seen VG with a little pulse.
little jab.
I got something that'll give us a pulse. I sent
Let's go for our nugs, and we got something good.
it's something fun, I think. We got
Frazier.
We got one of our friends. We got a video of one of our friends dancing. It might help us tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it might help us get in the mood.
BG, you back on your TikTok?
No, I'm not TikToking yet. This guy dancing is what we all need tonight. We're all hoping for.
Yeah,
that's good, Ranger. That makes me smile every time I see it.
It does with Budweiser.
I like that. We need Ranger. You need Ranger with a swag, man. Ranger needs to come out.
Yeah,
All I need
Ranger needs
is
that.
Ranger tonight. Let's go. Let's go.
And if he's if he's not perfect, just ground balls.
Yeah.
And that's what he leans to. He generates a lot of ground balls.
I'll tell you
Keep
one
the
thing,
ball
though.
down.
This series has been the biggest bloodletting I've ever. I mean, it's been torture.
Yeah.
These 3 games, even the one they win, the one they won, it was so not enjoyable.
Oh, no. Yeah, that game was, horrible.
I mean, it's hard to believe.
Blood pressure was out the roof.
Yeah. Hard to believe it took
last
till
night, we go through
2024.
4 buckets of Miller Lights last night.
Maybe this is opposite year, all right? Maybe this is opposite year, and hear me out. The last 2 years, we've always won game 1 in all the playoff series, okay? We don't win game 1 this series, all right? Last year, we only have to win 1 game out of 2 more games against the Diamondbacks. We lose both. Here, we're on the brink of elimination. The Mets are in our situation where they have 2 games to take us out. Maybe we flip the script on them, and we win both games.
I wonder how, man.
Maybe this is just the opposite year, and we're just not looking at it that way.
The opposite year.
I mean, the quick turnaround is
Bizarro
not
year?
easy either. You got to go back tonight and try to escape off elimination.
Oh, I think you're better off back to back. You don't want to sit around and think about it.
That's the worst. This team doesn't need to think.
Right. Yeah, I
This
think
team,
back to back is good.
this team's issue is it thinks too hard.
Yes.
Totally
thinks too much.
All right, we got Uncle Frank on the line.
We got
with
Uncle
our
Frank.
fine listeners. Hello, Uncle Frank.
Whoa, let me take. How we doing, boys? What do you say, Anthony?
Doing
Well,
great.
We're doing great. These guys are
I
real.
know. VG, Johnny Shoes, Frazier. So, if I may,
looks
and
good.
and Anthony, I might feel a little bad where my ire is going because he's a miserable right now, but obviously the Nola, the bats, etc. We're disappointed, but someone on the dais there who is keenly observant and delves out violations like they're chiclets, I got to come to
Chiclets?
you,
Chiclets,
Gregory.
dude.
Yeah, well, what do you
Why?
got? What do you got?
What did you do?
I don't know.
Monday, you disrespected the sports gods. You put it out there in the clouds. You said to Anthony, we got, not verbatim, but we got this. No problem. When you know the team we're opposing, the only way to kill them is put a stake through their heart. Now, if the series was 2-zip, and I feel bad. Listen, I'm a big fan of yours, and I feel bad because I know you guys are kind of shotted, but I got to, you can't put right. And Anthony jumped on that. When you put that out there, you can't put that in the ether. It's
Let
like
me-
I know. Uncle Frank, you're right. I told him.
No.
You can't offend
yes,
the baseball
that's
gods.
almost a mortal sin violation. If my Nonna Enrica was still alive, she'd throw an old school Maloik
And
at
listen,
you.
he should know, as he's been my long-time sentinel when it comes to
Yes.
violations, he committed
Yes.
one.
Absolutely. You guys couldn't be more off base. The baseball gods do not protect the Beelzebubs, the Lucifers of the world. That's what the Mets are. You're talking about sticking a stake in their heart. No.
No, you're
Van
putting the Mets-
Helsing needs confidence when he puts the stake in Dracula's heart. He can't be all insecure.
But
We can't go into
Greg,
this insecure.
Fiji, forget the bleep the Mets. But you don't see where we're coming from. You can't put that out there in the
The
damn.
gods don't like the Mets. They don't
Listen,
protect the
I
Mets.
hate the
Please
Mets.
show some humility.
I'm
Yes.
not on
Just
I'm
don't
surprised
listen to
at
Uncle
this.
Frank.
I'm
You can change
surprised-
around the
surprised-
mojo.
I'm
Apologize
surprised
to the
at
baseball
at your
gods.
reply, BG.
What?
What do we? I don't know. Listen,
He's being
your wife's a
stubborn,
pagan.
Uncle
She's
Frank.
cool, but if
Tell him-
Enrica was
tell him-
around,
Tell him to apologize to the baseball gods. Maybe that'll rectify the situation. And
you got to
they'll
talk
win
to your
tonight.
VG. Talk to the pagan today. See what you can do to make the sports gods a little more lenient. Try to assuage them.
I'm in tune. I am with. I am a messenger of the sports gods.
I don't think so. What you
The messenger.
What the hell? Not based on your track record.
Apologize
To who?
to the baseball
For
gods.
what? What exactly am I apologizing for? For having confidence?
No. You declare. You made a declaration.
Yes.
Uncle
Yes.
Frank's right.
You know, there are people who are mediums who speak to higher powers. It was just the sports gods talking through me. And I'm supposed to apologize for that?
No, that was a fake. Just like else, it was a false idol. It was
prophecy.
Now-
It was.
A false prophet.
Now I'm
was
going
a
double
bad spirit
secret
that you
probation
trapped.
violation. Now,
good, Uncle
double
Frank.
secret probation violation.
Yeah.
You got-
All right.
Just come
All
on.
right, listen.
Open
Dear temperamental
Open
sports
up your
gods,
hearts to the
I'm
sports
sorry
gods.
you're so easily offended by my exuberance and confidence, and I take it back.
I love
Hubris.
it.
Say
But you
hubris.
can't.
Hubris.
Yes.
All right.
I love it. I'm as
All right,
confident
I like
as
that.
anybody. But, and look, he is now. You're all miserables. They're going to, let's go.
Let's
the
go.
lumber wakes up
Let's
tonight.
go, Uncle Frank. I love
Let's
it.
go.
Watch the game in the cage. All right?
Damn it. Yes.
Yeah.
You're the best, Uncle Frank.
Love
Thank
you guys.
buddy.
Love you guys.
Love you, buddy. There it
Uncle
is.
Frank.
What's our right a back in the day moment? Got something good
God.
that's going to help us, pump us up, like a get me to the plate, like a back in the day Jimmy Rollins or a big piece, right? Like you got anything?
Dude, Shawm and I really kill me here today. I'll find something for you. Why don't you thank our diehards? Well, I muster something up for you.
Well, I just did my right a back in the day moment. I did it. And it's Jimmy Rollins, get me to the plate, boys. All right, let's channel that. All right, channel the peace. Peace said that.
Peace, yeah.
Peace said, get me to the plate. Let's channel peace.
This team really
All
killing
right.
me, man.
I love peace.
Yeah, we love peace. All right, it's going to happen tonight. Don't forget Rite Aid for all your favorite goods and your scripts and your flu shot. RiteAid.com. All right, everybody, listen. They're going to win tonight. I feel it. They're going to. I know this. They're hitting Quintana. Bats will be alive tonight. I just hope Rangers up to the task.
I think Rangers. He's
right.
the least of my worries.
All right, everybody have a great day. We love you guys.
Yeah,
Let's
Fraser.
go.
Go Phillies.
Go Phillies.
We all silly like the mayor.